Good morning. Yesterday we mentioned the Halacha, the obligation that we have tomorrow of doing Eruv Tavshilin, which is, as we explained, the preparation of the cooking that we will be doing on Friday for Shabbat. So the question comes up, what happens one who has no intention to cook at all? Today, tomorrow, you or your wife cooking everything, baking everything, making everything. Should you do an Eruv Tavshilin or not? The Halacha is that one is supposed to still do Eruv Tavshilin. Now, however, if a person is absolutely sure that they're not going to cook at all, they're supposed to do the Eruv Tavshilin without a beracha. Meaning, the first part, the Baruch Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, and the bracha on the Eruv, they're not going to say. They will say the Aramaic part, which we'll go through now just to translate and understand exactly what we're saying. But if a person is intending on making any food or baking or anything of the sort, they need to do it with a beracha. What's the reason why, regardless, a person should do an eruv? Yes. Because none what? Yes. For guests. Also, for lighting candles. When we light the candles on Erev Shabbat, the Shabbat candles, they are being lit for Shabbat. And therefore, that is melacha, which you're doing from Yom Tov to Shabbat. So regardless, an eruv is supposed to be done. Ideally, a person should try to leave something on in order to cook, or if it's an electrical stove, leave it on low. If it's gas, it's a lot easier. Just open the gas, and then you can put a flame to it from an existing one. It's quite easy. But ideally, a person should try to cook. If a person, as we mentioned yesterday, forgot non-intentionally to do an eruv, then they are able to rely on the eruv that the rabbi does on behalf of the congregation. Now, a person cannot do that intentionally. It could only be by mistake. The eruv is supposed to be done tomorrow during the day, anytime during the day tomorrow. It should not be done tonight, and it should not be done, obviously, once the Chag has started. If it was during twilight, during Ben Hashmashot, then a person is able to rely on that. The cooking that is done from Yom Tov to Shabbat ideally should be done in the middle of the day, or at least if there's still enough time that whatever you cook could be eaten then, and then it's just leftovers for later. That's only an ideal. So meaning 2, 3, 4 o'clock still on Friday, anything that you cook, technically you could eat before Shabbat starts. Ideally that's the way it should be done, but if a person is stuck and they forgot and they did not prepare properly, they are allowed to cook even late Friday afternoon.
How about the rabbi? Yeah. How about to prepare the table for Shabbat?
No, we're not supposed to properly. We're supposed to wait late. You're allowed to do it, but you're not supposed to do it early in the day.
No,
you should do it as that's all part of the preparations. So yes, again, preparing the table for Shabbat is allowed to be done before Shabbat. If you're allowed to cook for Shabbat, of course preparing is allowed. But again, it should be done closer to Shabbat, but really any time is fine. What we're just going to do is we're going to read the line and a half in Aramaic that we do read after the bracha of Eruv Tavshilin, so that we could understand it, since it's not regular Hebrew. We say, after the bracha of Asher Kiddushanu Tzivanu Al Mitzvat Eruv, we say, Bedin Eruva, with this Eruv that we have taken, that means we are all coming together, Yeheh Shara Lana, it should be permitted to us, Lafuye, to bake, Ulvashule, to cook, Ul-atmuneh, to do hatmana. We know what hatmana is, covering in order to preserve the heat. Ul-takuneh, and to even do any preparations, or any fixing. Ul-adlukeh, and lighting shagra, candles. Ul-me'bad kol tzorchana miyom tov le-Shabbat, and to do all preparations from Yom Tov to Shabbat. So that answers quite easily the question of preparing for Shabbat.
What about from first Yom Tov to the second Yom Tov?
What about?
If you have 2 Yomim Tovim, you can prepare the...
No. The only reason why we have this loophole, this allowance, is because on Shabbat you can't cook. On Shabbat you can't prepare. So on Yom Tov, since you are allowed to cook, we're letting you cook on Yom Tov and prepare for Shabbat. But rather, from Thursday to prepare for Friday, we're not allowed. From Yom Tov to Yom Tov you can't prepare, and from Yom Tov to Shabbat you can only prepare with an eruv. Okay? So, Bezat Hashem, we will all remember to do the mitzvah of Eruv tomorrow. Tonight, Mincha Arvit.